What's up, people? This week I went bow fishing in Missouri for Asian carp. Let's get to it. So, this is the little creek I was at, Platten Creek. Pretty little creek directly connected to the Mississippi River. And if y'all aren't familiar with Asian carp, back in the 1970s, a bunch of catfish farmers were like, oh man, this weed problem is killing us. How do we get rid of these weeds so we can more easily, harvest our fish? So they imported these Asian carp from, you guessed it, Asia, and they put them in their catfish ponds to try to control the weeds. One rainy season came along, and all of the Asian carp in one of the ponds, made their way into the Mississippi River. And, 50 years later, they're all over the place. These things are devastating. I'm sure y'all have seen the videos of motorboats coming through and these fish just jumping out of the water, hitting people. That's what I'm going for today. So let's see if we can get on one. They're quite a tasty fish. They're much tastier than the common carp. So if I'm getting on one, I'm going to try to do a little catch, clean, cook.
Did you see my first fish today? A little gar surfaced over here. But I'm not seeing quite the numbers I was seeing last night, and I feel like that's just because I'm a little early. But I was just looking over there, and that looks like a sweet looking skate obstacle or something. Big splash over to the right. Right here's where I got my fish yesterday. They were all up in them pillars there, but I don't see them today. I'm hearing them down this way. Let's keep going. That's just cool. Oh, something right there. I think this would be a good spot. I'm up high. And yesterday when I came down here, there were 2 carp right here, a gar right there. I've seen 1 gar and a bunch of splashes. I've not seen a properly identified Asian carp yet today, but I think I will. I'll go check that out over there. I'll be more careful coming up, I guess. Okay, so I just spooked one from up close when I broke that log over there. There's several over there. So we're gonna go stay high, try to get down to them slow. Oh my god, there's so many fish, it's crazy. Alright, I'm deciding to come back and approach slow and low. for a different one because I'd already drawn. I don't know, I didn't have to, but I should have just let my draw back down. I'll find more. Looks like something stuck around. It saw me. I think I got that one. Yeah, I definitely got that one. Nice. It looks like he's barely got. I gotta be careful. Got him. Yeah, you got threaded. We got one.
Alright, now I am by no means an expert fish cleaner, but they're pretty simple. These things, also I didn't get the best shot, so sorry about that, but these things have a lot of Y bones in them, which I kind of just ignored. They're big enough that, when I cooked it, I could just kind of eat around them. So I basically went for the old, cut behind the gill flap, cut all the way down, avoid the ribs, you know, just how you clean anything. Oh, also I scaled it off camera, so all the scales are off. By the way, I think this is a silver carp. Asian carp consist of, the black carp, the grass carp, and then more problematic are the silver carp, this guy, and then the big head carp. So next week I go fishing for some big head carp, so stay tuned for that. But I think this is a silver carp. Let me know what y'all think. Alright, so I'm definitely not an expert in the kitchen either, but first things first, you gotta wash that meat. If you're not washing your meat, you could be getting so many nasty diseases. Just make sure you wash your meat. Um, so next thing I did, I decided to go ahead and skin it, even though I'd already scaled it, because it just, it's so easy. It's just that one extra step, and it's gonna make it cook a lot nicer. So I decided to just give it a little skin. And look at that. Nice, one piece, solid. So I did that to both sides. Boom. It got so much quicker. It's like I learned from the first one. All right, and then let's see here. Yeah, that's me pointing out the Y bones. So yeah, there are a lot of Y bones up in there. I kind of just ignored them, cut right through them, cut into little chunks. Now, depending on who you are, that may or may not be advisable. I just took a bunch of little bites, took my time with it. So it wasn't really a problem for me, but I could see how it could be a choking hazard. So just be careful with that. There is a technique to remove them. I have not learned that technique, so this is what I did. And then you get your egg. Any good batter needs a little bit of an egg. You take the fish, you put it in the egg, then you put the batter on it. So mix that up with my freshly cleaned utensil. Looking nice and mixed. Then I got out my fancy dancy camp stove. So real simple. I love this thing. My sister got it for me. The only thing about it for this kind of application, it's great for cooking a pot of rice, but this is probably a little bit small for cooking, a whole fish, especially one of this size. So yeah, I gotta wipe that gas away. Anyways, yeah, if I were to do this again, I would probably want to, just increase my pot size. And, thinking ahead, lining that stuff with some aluminum foil makes the cleanup way easier. That's definitely the way to go. Get it nice and molded to the shape of my pot. Boom. Then I got my panko. got my egg. I get the little assembly line. I get it ready. Once you start cooking, you don't want to be like reaching around figuring out where everything's at. You just want to start cooking. So I get my thing lit up. My thing's lit up. You get this get some oil, cooking spray. Don't be shy with it. And it's just like an assembly line, just as Henry Ford would have wanted it. You go one by one. You plop it in the egg, take them out of the egg, plop them in the panko. Perfect. Rinse off that egg, and then you get that extra panko, dash it on top. Perfect. Now this is where if I had had a bigger pot, I probably could have had this whole fish cooked in like 10 minutes. But as you can see, it's gonna take me a while to get the rest of it, cooked and ready to eat. But I had nothing but time. I'm just chilling. It's a weekday afternoon. Oh, definitely add that lemon pepper. You can't forget that lemon pepper. Anytime you're cooking fish, there we go. First batch done instantly. Keep it folded up, since it's taking so long to cook, you got to keep it hot. There, boom, 2 batches. So let's see how many batches with this tiny pot it actually took me to get this whole fish cooked. There's 3. Boom. And 4 batches. It's lagging a little bit. Okay, so 4 batches. That's not bad. I mean, it probably took me 20 minutes as opposed to 10 to cook it. But, I could have been eating, watching my show earlier. And look at that. You get your hot sauce, make a nice little pan for your hot sauce right there. And I would prefer some Valentina, but we working with the Texas Pete. And overall, let's see how it tastes. I give it a thumbs up, honestly.
I compare it to like a tilapia or a catfish or something, but I will say the bones were pretty gnarly. Some of those Y bones are pretty big, so you kind of want to just be really careful and take your time with it. But overall, I had a really fun time with it. I just love bow fishing, especially when I can use my bow fishing to help eliminate some invasive species. So this was kind of a win-win-win. I had fun, got a meal out of it, and we're taking some invasive species out of the environment. So next week I'm gonna be going for a different species of Asian carp, the big head carp. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Peace.